What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Cities Skylines. My name is Splattercat, and today we got a project down south that we need to take care of. No, that was not some loosely veiled attempt at shaving humor. We have things to handle. First and foremost, though, let's hang out for a little bit and get rid of some of these burned buildings while we talk about our plans for the future. So, I think this is my last recording session for this series, and by that I mean this is not the last episode. I'm going to record like one or two after this, and then we'll bid it adieu. We hit the maximum capacity, which is what I wanted to do. Obviously, your city can get much, much larger after this, I think. I don't really know exactly how it works. In Tropico, people start to just like leave overnight, and so I don't know if it works like Tropico does or if it works like several other Sims do. But anyways, let's get rid of some burned buildings real fast so that things can sprout back up a little bit and show us their lovely little photosynthesis breeding leaves. That place doesn't have water. How does that place not have water? Every single time there's always that one little spot. There's always that one little spot. This is like the story of my existence in this game. Every single time. And over here, I'm about to do something all kinds of crazy just to get this to work. Alright, so we'll just fill that in right there. Fill that in right there. It doesn't look amazing, but you know what? I am so far past the point of, like, aesthetics that it's just like, whatever. I think the game does refresh, by the way. I tested it. I logged out and I logged back in, so I turned the game off and I turned it back on. None of these issues all around this city existed when I turned the game off. When I turn it back on, I think it just, like, spawns a whole bunch of new random issues in the middle of your city or something. I can't prove it, but that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like, because I can tell you right now, none of these deaths existed and stuff when I logged out last time. I don't know. I'm very suspicious right now. I'm very, very suspicious. So we need some housing. Looks like we're definitely going to need some housing, and obviously I don't want to use that tool right there. I think I will probably keep this sort of suburban in here. I've been feeling really, really confident about our suburban choices over the last couple episodes. They're not my favorite type of car, but you know what? I grew up riding around in my friend's Suburban. My family didn't have a Suburban. We had like a broke-ass Oldsmobile Silhouette type thing. I don't even know what it was. Honestly, we had a Honda Accord for like 50 years. It was like the universe's oldest Honda Accord. But after that, they traded that one in and they got like a Oldsmobile Silhouette or something like that, which is what they still have that car to this day. To this day, I'm like, well, damn, that car got some mileage out of it, didn't it? So I'm going to put that in right there. I would love to start off with some other industries, maybe along the bottom side of this right here. I don't know exactly how that's going to affect our playthrough, but we can try it out for a little bit, and then what we can do is we can actually zone this down here. Once it's actually got buildings anyways, I guess we can take this Fairview Hills. Alright, well, since we don't really have a whole lot of choices here, we'll go like so, the Emerson District. Alright, there it is. So we got the Emerson District. What can I do with the Emerson District? Well, we can make it oil mining, we can make it generic industry, we can make it forestry. I don't really know what I like best down here. None of these really look that interesting. Let's go for a mining industry down here. That seems kind of cool. I don't know. I like mining. I think that mining is really, really awesome, and I feel like other people like mining, given the recent success of games like well, not that recent anymore, like Terraria, Minecraft. You make a game with mining in it, people seem to be fairly stoked about it. Although I remember back in the day, there were like those mining games, like way back in the 80s, just like shareware mining games where you go down to the ground and just like dig squares, and the squares would have different amounts of ore in them, and then you would sell them and come back up and get like upgrades and stuff like that. They still make those games too. Like seriously, they pump those things out left and right through the App Store on the iPhone anyways. I don't know if they do it for the Droid. They probably do. They're pretty popular game types. I don't know if that's going to reach in between the two of those, but I'm going to try really, really hard to make it work. These down here already have water. How bad is this going to pollute now that we're pulling stuff out of the soil? It's probably going to be bad, but I guess we'll figure it out. Why are there so many cop cars, and where are they coming from? Those cop cars got here with a quickness. Wow. They sped on over here like their jobs depended on it. Maybe their jobs did. Well, let's drop in a couple of office buildings down in here. Yep. Take our offices to the max. This episode brought to you by Office Max, obviously, because I've been taking corporate sponsors. No, I haven't. I do get corporate sponsors every now and again that try to talk to me about, like, advertising opportunities, like Taco Bell, for example. Taco Bell was super, like, interested in just, like, advertising on my channel. I don't know what it is about my demographic that they're like, Taco Bell. We are all about Taco Bell, but they were leaning towards it. They were leaning towards it. So anyways, let's take this back in here. I probably will try my best to get some education flowing out here. We got a little bit of space for a school, like right there. That seems good. Nope, that'll work. There we go. So we got a school right there. I think we need a high school, so I should probably, let's just throw the high school in right there. I'm sure people will be happy to give them a little bit of education so that we do have a lot of like trained jobs that require experience going in. and we have had our uneducation or our lack of education moving upwards over time. And so my concern right there is I just don't want to create like a wave of stupidity that keeps us from being able to advance our buildings, because as I understand it from the guides and things that I've watched, the buildings only upgrade based on education and having the right workers in the right slots. And so if you can't get those, then it can be sort of an interesting thing. Down here on this side, I don't know, maybe we should leave it uneducated. Our uneducated has actually dropped, even though we've been trying really, really hard to, Well, maybe up in here I should actually, let's try this again, shall we? Let's see if we can make this work this time. I'm going to leave these people nice and uneducated, keep them nice and primed for ignorance, and so hopefully it'll work out in a way that eventually allows us to make use of some of these industry buildings down here. I'm going to drop this guy in right here to make sure that we have all of our fundamental services in place long before we get started. Put in a big hospital. I'm going to put in a landfill down here since it's already, the space is already taken, so we might as well get it going. And then maybe put in like one of those right next to it so that I don't even know if there's a point in doing that right now. There may or may not be, but we're future-proofing, I guess. We also probably need a police department down here. I will probably just go with one of the big guys as well. We've got the excess budget to make it work. Oh, maybe we don't. Maybe our budget's going negative right now. I wonder what caused that. Either way, we're in expansive period, so we'll only be in the red for a little while. We should recover fairly quickly unless there's things going like ridiculously wrong in other locations that I don't know about. Oh, wow. Traffic jam. Okay. My least favorite type of jam. I prefer strawberry of all the jams. The traffic jam, it's got a very sort of like tire rubber flavor. Not a fan of it. I don't know how they're going to market that in order to make it profitable, but they're definitely going to have to step their game up to the next level in order to get that going. Got all of our fundamental services in order. Things are looking good right here. I think I should probably keep the office jobs. People can work those as much as they see fit. We do have enough people in those, and so non-educated laborers should be able to filter through and get down to here. There may be some slight adjustment period as we try and get that going, but demands are a little bit low right now. Demands are indeed a little bit low. Let's just watch and hang out for a second. We got a lot of sick people up here, and my hope was that... I think these are just parked cars. It doesn't look that bad up and in here. We should have ambulances around to take care of half these guys. What a great city. I would think I was dreaming if I didn't know otherwise. Well, you know otherwise. I know that deep down you understand the way things are working around here. I don't know what the fluctuations are in our population right now. I think it's got something to do with the fact that we've probably hit some kind of flat. I've heard some people say they hit like 500, 600,000 people, so maybe it just gets harder to expand as time goes along. I don't know. I think I'll probably just stick with educating. That's definitely something they need to like sort out though in the long term, is like with our industry, it becomes incredibly difficult to even like remotely populate any of this if you're playing the game. So they've got kind of like a juxtaposition between two ideas right now that are not working out. And those ideas are uneducated labor versus educated labor. It's too easy to educate right now, is the way that I would put it. It's far, far too easy to educate right now, and it's far too beneficial to educate, whereas there's really no benefit to leaving people ignorant just so you can have industry, and because it earns like the same amount of money as any of the other buildings that you drop in. And you see right there, like, people move into locations where the job opportunities and where the education is, so we'll see how this all works out in the future, but I'm thinking they may want to revise that and sort of just figure out the way that they have that orchestrated. I don't know if I should make this big city living down in here, or if I should just sort of keep it the way that it is. I guess I'll keep this suburb for right now, and as we move off in this direction, I'll consider the possibility of making it a lot more compacted, essentially making us build upwards instead of outwards, which is the difference between suburban development and urban development. Got this right here. We'll take some really, really nice urban development right there. We'll put them by the freeway because obviously they can deal. We'll take this down and into here. This should keep all of our demands and needs down in the long term. We'll take some more commercial zoning right there, although that is along kind of a shorter road right now, so I don't know if that's going to be a great plan. We'll take that on up to the top. There it is. We'll just keep on growing. And so this is going to set us up. Hopefully the fire department... I have a fire department, correct? Let me make sure. I did not build a fire department, so that building is doomed. Well, it might be doomed for right now, but it did put up a really cool looking blaze. You ever seen an octopus burn to death? I bet you haven't, because octopi live underwater. That's a one-time deal right there. You may never see this again ever in your entire life. An octopus on fire. It may be a fake octopus, but you know what? It's still a pretty awesome octopus. So we've got this all nice and delegated out here. We should be able... I'm actually going to have this unload nonstop while it's down here so that it can give to this thing right here. And so there it is. It should offload pretty heavily to this location from now on in. And then I'll turn that off. And that's going to put them at almost a quarter of their capacity so that we can have a little bit more electrical discharge. Bzz. So there it is. We need a bus station. Or at least, I don't know if it's worth putting a bus station in here right now. But I think it's probably a decent plan. And we'll start running bus lines now while we wait. Because I think it's a good idea. And these bus lines can just sort of like work their way around the block. Actually, I'll take this one around. Let's go all the way down. Yep. Take that bus line round and round. Run this budget to the ground. We'll take this down to here. Yes. We'll bring this back this way. Does it not like to cross the line right here? Oh, okay, so there it is. So what we'll do is we'll add a stop right there, and we'll bring that back on up to the top. I don't think we need any more stops for right now. That is hitting just about everything at the moment. I do think a subway tunnel would also be a good idea for right now before I forget, while we still have space. And so we'll drop the subway tunnel right there. We will take the tunnel network and we will start running it back and around. I'm probably going to put this on rounded mode just because it makes me happier. And so we'll connect that over to there. What am I doing? Okay, so from along this side, we'll have this connect down and around right here just to make sure that everything goes where it needs to go. There it is. And so that everything's been drawn from there. I'll probably have a line go from here to here to there, on over to there, to there. We'll add a stop right there, and then we will complete the line right there so that people can get around using the subway. Although the subway does have this weird side effect of dumping a shit ton of people right on your front lawn every couple seconds, so it can be problematic. Now that our city's growing back up, we should see this budget deficit fall off in a little bit. Don't know precisely what's causing that, but I figure growth in other regions should probably try and fix that up. Over in this area, I'm hoping that, I don't know, do we have enough educational opportunities? So education is back on up to 10%. That means we had a 2% drop. It looks like the farmland over here is going to be the principal reason that everything is just a mess. A highway. Thinking about the possibility right now of a real ugly highway. Just going this way. And then if we page it on up, right here, we cross the road right there, and that'll make some people real unhappy. But what it may allow us to do is sort of just like circumnavigate this mess. I'm gonna have to bulldoze that right there. It's unfortunate, but if I take it back a little bit, well, I don't know exactly which direction that's going, but it may help. Let some people stop off right there, and we'll see if that frees up a little bit of our space. We'll see if the cars get smart and if they go that way or not, and if they don't, then I may reconsider the cornhole over here. The cornhole is definitely becoming the ass end of our problems. Everything was great till you came along, cornhole. The freeway's freed up right here, though, so as long as the traffic is sort of just like out here somewhere, I don't really mind that much. Technically, I could upgrade these roads. My principal mistake, I think, was making these single-lane roads, and I knew it in my head while I was doing it. I thought about it, but I was like, we'll just wait and see, like, how this goes. And if it works the way that we want it to, then I guess it works the way that we want it to, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I guess I could expand this out here right now. I don't know if it'll fix anything. And in fact, I sincerely doubt that it will. We can let all this industry regrow over here if we so desire it. Let me just make this entire area. I like how we got like a little beat going on right now. That's definitely like a Bay Area beat sound, just like that. Boom, 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 boom. That's the kind of thing we do over here. It's just the sort of thing that we do. Takes some getting used to, too. Takes some getting used to. We'll expand that out slightly. I don't think it'll help that much, but it may. We'll watch this area over the short term, and we'll kind of just like see what happens with it. Add a little bit more industry over here as well into the cornhole. And then what we can do, God, every single time, it's equally as entertaining to say each time that I do it. We'll continue to expand that region a little bit. I shouldn't have to explain anything for right now. power grid's going to be a little bit sketchy while they rebuild all of it, but it'll fix itself with time. As with all things, time should take away a little bit of the friction and get things back to the smooth nature that we're all accustomed to. Over in this area, we finally broke back into the black, and so we're back in black. Don't sue my ass. I'm just using your song for a second. It'll suck if you do. Make me sad. Let's go over here. I will watch. Well, it looks like actually this is it's developing pretty rapidly. So the ideas that we want to come across right here, how is the freeway looking? There's no real reason for this to run down this way. So I figured that every car that comes down here should get off on this side. Now this is going to pressurize some of the... It's going to give us a little bit of push right here, but I think this should be the dominant highway right here. So providing that we give ample means for these roads to get in down to here with time, I think we should be alright. Additionally, I could make a branch off right here to allow this to maybe go straight into here. Maybe have this follow around. I don't know. I don't know what our best idea is right now. Maybe add further roads right here. No, I don't want to upgrade anything right now. I just want to have nice, straight, beautiful roads. There they are. And so I figure if I make another little like subdivision back up in there, I wonder how long it takes. Actually, that's going to be a bad idea because we got pollution going in right now. How are we looking with our... I'm going to set some of my other garbage places to undump some of their wares for right now. So this one is set to a perpetual unloading. Okay. What about, you're a cemetery? Oh, that's what we needed down and in here. We needed cemeteries. Oh, no, we have a cemetery and a hospital. Good. Well, that's awesome. We got the fire department in, right? It looks like we did. How many engines is it using right now? 0, actually. Well, that's not so good, considering the fact that things are actively, like, burned. Oh, never mind. That was our octopus building. I was wrong. I was on the wrong leg of the journey, whereas the octopus had all the legs going on. On this side, we've got extra power lines that can be condensed. So let's get rid of those. There we go. Yep, very, very nice. This is all run. We don't need to worry about this anymore. Okay, and so we shouldn't have any long-term power problems due to the junction that's taking place right there. It's just passing the duchy on the right-hand side, I guess, since it's coming from over here to here, and if you orient that way, I guess you could say the down-hand side, but down-handed makes it sound like we're doing some kind of bad business up in this area, and I'm not really so sure. Not really so sure. Traffic appears to be flowing in the way that I prefer it to be doing it, nice and smooth, keeping everything moving downstream the way that we want. I may put in a little bit of low-density commercial right there just to see how it does. I know that that's a bad plan and that frequently it falls over and dies every time that I attempt this, but you know what? I don't learn my lessons. I like to just keep banging on that same gavel just over and over and over again. Just bang on that thing until it gives me what I want. And it looks like we've balanced out with our deficit again, which is very, very nice. The city is back to building up. But as I said at the beginning of the episode, I am planning on breaking the series off probably in the next 3 episodes or so. So be aware that that is going to be happening. There's not a whole lot of projects that I feel up to undertaking. I feel like we've had a good time building up Bimington, and I think that I've gotten what I wanted out of the game for right now. I've gotten about 30 episodes out of it, which is what I was planning on doing with it. When I go into any like series, I have like a planning phase where I try to figure out what I want to do with this series and where I want it to go, and I'm pretty confident with where it landed right here. I don't think that it requires too much more. I'm not really interested in doing like ridiculous civic, you know, reconstruction and sort of like moving things around. Oh yeah, it looks like they're sucking the water out of that thing pretty well. Looks like the water level is dropping. It's going to take a while, though, for them to actually finish that off. We didn't get to do any monuments just because some of them have really sort of weird, odd, I guess, prerequisites. Like, you have to have a negative budget for like 5 years or something like that for some of the stuff. You have to have like garbage piling up in the streets. Like, everything they want you to do is essentially allowing your infrastructure to fall apart in order to get like these random bonuses. That looks like it cleared some of the cars out of the way. Traffic's still a little iffy over here. Okay, well, traffic's still really iffy over here, but the freeway looks like it's draining some runoff, so that'll work for right now. I mean, it's a junction that appears to be working for us. Running out of workers on this side, unfortunately. Lots of deaths, too, so where is my cemetery at, and what is it doing right now? Because I know I was very, very careful about the deployment of cemeteries. You've got 12 out of 12 right there. Okay, so that's good. 12 out of 12 functioning. A lot of dead bodies laying around. Let's go all in on a secondary one, and we'll put it down here by this big road. We'll kind of just see what happens with it. I'm going to keep an eye on its functionality for a moment just to make sure that it's deploying properly and it's not doing that cycling thing that it does. The cycling issue that I showed you a couple episodes ago where it just pops in between 0 and 1, it's related to one-way roads. The game is trying to calculate a route and can't quite finish it off because I think it terminates the route if the route is too long. I don't know. All the teeth in the audience right now are quivering. They don't want to talk about the route. I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling so much when you go to the dentist and they're just like, and they stab that sore spot and you're like, no, dentist. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm going to get rid of that right there because we no longer need it now that it's emptied out. And I'm just going to let these guys do the job. 25 garbage trucks coming out of this plant right here. Hell yeah. These seeds are definitely going to root and creating a wonderful, wonderful infrastructure flower of trash picky uppage. Some people are using the subway, which is good. We can't expect that to be operating at optimal capacity until we get things all nice and situated down here. I'm going to take a single lane road on this side. There it is. We'll take that on up and in. Do the same thing on this side. Sehr gut. And then we will go back. And on this side, we've got so much commercial needs. Like, seriously, we got so many commercial needs up and in here. And they just don't seem to be letting it go. Well, I'll put those in for office buildings. We will go high density commercial up and in here to kind of keep that down and away. Looks like we are going to have housing needs really soon too. So let's go another big city area up in here. Okay, there we are. Very, very nice. I'm pretty happy with the way things are developing and the way things are looking now that we've got things cooking. I think that puts us in a really good spot to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Cities Skylines. I look forward to seeing you all in future episodes. This will be the last leg of our journey. I look forward to seeing you all later. Hi, do everybody.